Starting. Okay, I think we're live. Hello everyone, it's Jessie. In today's video, my friend Victoria and you can check out her channel, Novel Reality. I will link it below. We are going to be talking about, reviewing, and discussing Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Woo! I have like 3 copies around me too, so a lot of Lady Midnight love. So Lady Midnight, if you did not know, it follows Emma Carstairs at the Los Angeles Institute, and her parents were murdered in the Dark War previous years before. This series takes place 6 years after the Mortal Instruments series, and so basically the book is a mystery. Emma and her family is trying to figure out if there is a connection between her parents' murders and current murders going on in the Shadow World right now. So, have anything to add?
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be here. I'm so happy Jessie finally finished this book. It is so wonderful. It is one of Cassie's best books yet.
Oh, yeah.
One thing definitely that really stood out in this book to me was just, it was very richly written. Cassie knows California. She knows Los Angeles really well. And I mean, I visited and I could picture everything. That is one of the most beautiful things about the way she writes. You can vividly see everything that she writes, even if you've never visited that time or that place. I'm referring to the Infernal Devices, of course. But this is a great book. One thing that was really wonderful about it was the forbidden love aspect of it. There's always been some of those aspects in many of Cassie's Shadowhunters books, but I really liked, and I really can't wait to find out more that happens between Emma and Julian.
Oh yeah, I am so excited for more. And so I guess we should probably start off at the beginning of the book. I have some notes here. The beginning, in the prologue, we start off at a shadow market, and there's a boy named Kit. It's sort of in his point of view, and it's in 2012 in Los Angeles, and his father's name is Johnny Rook. And so we meet these characters, which we don't really know at first. I was reading it, and I'm like, wait, this isn't Emma, but you may think, it kind of seems like it's not important at the time, but Emma shows up there, and later on at the end of this book, it will all make sense. So there's that. And Kit has the sight, and he thinks that Shadowhunters are coming to take him away in that scene. And so he's kind of nervous and afraid of that happening.
I absolutely loved that scene. The opening scene, I loved that it started out not with all of our main characters and that we didn't have Emma and Julian together. There was a significant amount of time that passed in this book where Julian was off with his family. He wasn't even around. So we really get to see how Emma is in situations without Julian. And she's a lot different. When she's not with Julian, she's a very different person. And I really loved the interaction between her and Johnny Rook. I really enjoyed Johnny Rook in this book. Yeah, I just rhymed.
Yeah, I do too. So after that happens, Emma gets that tip from Johnny Rook, and so she goes with her Shadowhunter friend named Christina, and they're waiting, and all of a sudden they see this hooded figure, and they find that hooded figure leads them to another body. So they're all very confused, and they go back to the Institute, and they're trying to figure out what this mysterious writing is on this body and why they smell like the ocean and all this weird and strange stuff that's happened to those bodies.
I really enjoyed all of that, and the fact that the information they gave them helped them, but also hindered them in a way.
Yeah.
They almost didn't get what they needed because the Silent Brothers arrived and took over the entire situation. But I just love how sneaky Emma and Christina are together. I love Christina. Yeah, she's one of my absolute favorite characters in the book.
And it was Christina who took the pictures on her phone, correct? I'm pretty sure it was her.
I believe so. Now, yeah. Don't forget when they went and met up with Johnny Rook to get all that info. we had, and yes, I totally just pulled this out because I love this book. I've been posting about it so much, but yes, we had little Mr. Hottie Kieran Ashdown in there. I cannot wait to see more of him. I just like
he only really took part in the first half, and then Emma broke up with him, and Julian kind of got a little jealous there, and we don't really see him at all throughout the rest of the book. So I'm hoping there might be some more.
He's in this book. He's in this book, so yeah, I'm sure he's in the next book.
Yeah, I want him to come back and play, because if you've read Lady Midnight, just FYI, there's definitely going to be spoilers. So if you haven't read it or any of Cassandra's books, I kind of recommend coming back when you do. But yeah, the ending has it's just, Emma does what she believes is right, and there's sort of this plot twist, and the whole Emma Julian thing is gone suddenly. So, and there's that whole forbidden love still throughout the story, because Parabatai can't fall in love, and Magnus Bane tells us why in the end, sort of, but we still don't know what initially caused that to happen. So I know Christine at Pull and Bananas Books, she, in her interview with Cassie, was talking about if we will ever find out who the initial two Shadowhunter Parabatai were, who kind of created this law, and I'm actually really curious. I hope we find out soon someday.
Yeah, in my interview with Cassie, I asked her about Parabatai and if we would be familiar with any of the Parabatai pairs that have fallen in love in the past, and she did mention one. I can't remember which pair it was. I think she said that they are in the Infernal Devices. So I need to do like a whole reread. That's not really a task. I love the Infernal Devices. It's my favorite. But she gave a lot of fun tidbits in that interview, and that was a fun thing to ask about. I can't wait to find out more, and hopefully they'll give us more info about other pairs that have possibly fallen in love in the past. I mean, we do know of Parabatais that have loved their Parabatai. I mean, we got Robert Lightwood. His Parabatai loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Alec loved Jace. So it happens, but the mutual love connection, that is when things really hit the
fan. Yeah. Luckily Malik came along though.
Yes. Malik all the way. Malik all the way.
Time. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm total Malik trash. I'm Malik trash. I just don't even, I can't. I'm still watching that kiss scene.
Oh yeah, over and over. You guys know if you watched our other live show on Victoria's channel where we fangirl over the Malik kiss.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a weird noise. We have, you see, when Emma goes back to the Institute, getting back into the book, she has a closet that's empty, and it's completely full of news articles, photographs, strings connecting dots of this mystery about her parents' murder that she's still trying to solve, because the Clave and everyone has blamed the murder on Sebastian Morgenstern, but she doesn't believe that that's true. So, with that being said, we are in the beginning of the book. We're kind of introduced to the family. There's Tabby, there's Drew, Livy, and Ty. And so what was really interesting that Cassandra Clare told me in an interview, the characters, all the children in the Institute, they're actually all named after Greek and Roman goddesses and gods and goddesses, which I think is so cool. And if you didn't know, takes place in the mystery in the book. There's also the poem, the Annabelle Lee poem. Each chapter in Lady Midnight is actually named after a line in that poem. So there's just some random facts there. I don't know. What should we talk about next? There's so much good stuff.
There are so many things that I want to talk about. One thing I have always been fascinated about in life is everything to do with like the fairy realm and stuff like that. And I really love that we got a real look into the Wild Hunt in Cassie's universe. In the Shadowhunter universe, because I mean, in different books, there's always different versions of the way things are looked at, but we really got to get a little sneak peek into it. Like I don't completely hate the character Kieran. There are a lot of things. I feel so bad for him. In fact, I mean, he's one of so many children, and he was basically thrown away like trash by his father. And he falls in love. And after he falls in love, I mean, he falls in love with a half shadow hunter, half fairy. And it does not end well for him. He wants to keep him, but it doesn't work out. Mark wants to go back to his family, and it's understandable. His family wants him. Kieran's family does not want him. And one thing that I really loved about this whole thing, we see Gwyn, I forget, how do you say his name? Gwyn Apnud, the leader of the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
And he's very, you would expect him to be very, like, just vicious and cruel, but I see a lot of, like, humanity in him as a character, and I really would love a short story or something about him, because I feel there is something deep about him that we do not know yet, and I would love to know more about him.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting if since we learned a whole bunch and a lot more about the Wild Hunt in this book, but it would kind of be cool if we got like short stories actually about characters in the Wild Hunt. I think that would be really interesting.
And Midnight herself. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You want to, like, talk about that a bit? Because I know you do.
Do I want to what?
Lady Midnight herself.
Oh.
I mean.
Yeah, so where did we leave off?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep this like chronological, but my mind's just going back and forth all over the place. Like I have down here. There's like certain snarky scenes and stuff I love between Emma. Emma is just my spirit animal. Like, oh my gosh, Emma's everything she said. I wrote down so many lines from the beginning of the book. She's just great. And so I love the chemistry when Julian comes back and they're together. It's kind of, there's this missing piece that's sort of unsaid between them at first when he gets back. And there's just like, there's something there in between them. And so I'm trying to remember, I read this so long ago, I'm trying to remember the beginning pieces. The book was sort of slow at first, but I love how much you get to learn about and know the family. And like the last 200 pages is where all the action comes in. And it's like you just can't stop reading. So in the beginning, we have like the scenes at the diner. Oh, I know a scene we should talk about.
Yeah. What?
In the car, Julian got shot by the arrow.
Oh, and she straddled him, and she starts like, I thought we were going to an X-rated territory right there for a minute. Yeah. And then it was just, oh yes.
Yeah.
And then we got to see finally what it's like and how much more powerful a rune is from a parabatai if you're in love. It's not, he should not have survived.
Yeah.
He should not have survived. He should have been like 10 feet under, like already dead. Yeah. He should not have survived that.
And Malcolm actually tells him that, but he does not tell Emma. He keeps that a secret. And it's one of Julian's many secrets, but it all gets found out in the end. So before that scene happens in the car, that's when they had this tip from Johnny Rook, and they go to that house in Los Angeles, and they find the dead body at the bottom of the pool, and they take some items from her purse. The phone gets dropped in the pool. Julian gets shot by a dark figure on the roof. Emma tries to go after that figure, but the figure disappears. And so that's when Emma realizes Julian got shot, and that's when it happens in the car. Emma calls the Institute and tries to get everybody to come, and it's like that whole entire scene, how it is written, I was just chomping at the bits at the edge of my seat, just not stopping. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's just, they are so, that scene was just beautiful.
And then when we went back to that scene later on when Diego showed up, Perfect Diego, and we find out that he was the one to shoot Julian. Oh, and he didn't even know that his arrows were poisoned. He didn't know.
I kind of have trust issues with Diego. I still don't fully trust him just for some reason. It's just something in my mind. What?
Because of Jamie, because of his brother Jamie, probably, because his brother Jamie was supposed to be Christina's parabatai.
Yeah, that and the poisoned arrows. I was just like, he claims that he didn't know that they were poisoned, that he just bought them at the shadow market. He had his reasons, but I don't know. There's just something about Diego within me that I slightly still don't trust him. I don't know. I also didn't really trust Christina at first, but now I kind of like her. But I'm like still on edge because Cassie can, how she can pull plot twists like that. And so I'm like trying so hard to trust everyone. But I'm like, with the next book, I don't know where anything can go. So
I know exactly why you cannot trust him. I mean, everyone refers to him as perfect Diego. When you call someone perfect like that, it sets standards really high. Yeah. It sets that bar so high. And I mean, he is perfect in his way, but there were a lot of scenes that made me not hate him. I feel really bad for him, in fact, because of what his brother did and he lost the love of his life. I'm really interested to find out because Christina was starting to spark something between her and Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Showed up, and then, oh, poor Mark. Mark is my favorite character in the book. Like, oh, yeah. Mark, 100% Mark is my favorite character in Lady Midnight. Like,
at first it was, I was so excited at first for Malcolm Fade. I'm like, yes, we have another amazing warlock, the High Warlock of Los Angeles. I'm like, we're gonna have another Magnus Bane, and then I was like,
yeah,
whoa, no.
He sucks. Malcolm Fade, 100 and a million. I'll go on and on because he just sucks. He is gone way off the deep end a very long time ago, and he's crazy, and he has betrayed everyone who has put their trust in him. And I just he tried to kill a kid. I'm sorry, you try and kill a kid. I have very big issues. Well, I mean, killing in general, but anytime I see a kid about to be killed or an animal, I'm just like, no, I can't. No.
I'm just like in my head right now. All I have in my head is the last page, the very, very last page.
Oh my gosh! And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh,
why lie? Why lie, Jesy?
Oh, I'm opening to it right now.
It's not okay. It's not okay at all. Oh my gosh.
Should I read it?
Yeah, you can. It's
Epilogue. Annabelle. For years her coffin had been dry. No seawater dripped in through the fine porous holes in the wood and stone, and with the seawater and blood. It fell onto parched bones and dry sinew and soaked her windings shrewd. It moisturized her withered lips. It brought with it the magic of the ocean, and with it the blood of the one who had loved her, a stranger magic still. In her tomb by the sounding sea, Annabelle's eyes opened. So that's going to be a big part in the next book. And
yeah, especially and of course the part, see, I forgot, it's been like a month or about a month since I read the book, and I didn't remember that was the last part, but the main thing I was really focusing on was the big whoa moment at the end between Emma and Mark. Yeah. Like that
Mark said, why lie?
Yeah.
Takes her into a room, and I'm just like, oh crap, what's about to go down in there? And we don't get to know, and I'm just like, please, Cassie.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, and let's get to, probably we need to discuss the whole thing with why Malcolm did all of this, why he betrayed all of the Blackthorns, and why he was the way he was. I feel bad for him to an extent.
Yeah.
I have my limits with him. Malcolm gets this much sympathy from me. It's like a paper under a paper's worth of sympathy. It's like tiny. It's like very little, minuscule. And he betrayed them because the Blackthorn family betrayed him and Annabelle when they found out that she loved a warlock and wanted to stop being a shadow hunter to be with him and all of this. And they locked her in a wall until she died. And he's trying to bring her back to life with all this dark magic. And that's about the whole Midnight Theater thing and all the sacrifices. And yeah, it sucks.
Yep.
It sucks.
So basically, that whole murder mystery was Malcolm. He killed 13 people plus the black. Is it 13 or 12? I think it's 13.
I know.
It was. I think
he had those hands of glory or whatever to use. I don't remember how many he had.
It was 13 plus the blackthorn blood, which he took. He took Ty, and so yeah, and basically the.
No, he was gonna take Tabby. He took Tabby.
Oh yeah.
Little Tabby.
It's so sad.
Poor Tabby. Don't mess with Tabby. Like, no.
That's the part where they're all in the room, and was it Livy who came back with one of them came back, and they're like.
It was Drusilla. She came back with a paper. Julian read it, and when he read it, a spell like burst forth. It caused a major blackout. And then after that all happened, Kieran like came through the ceiling to the rescue in a steed, and he's like, "Hey, look at me, Mark." No, he did not say that, but he was basically like, "Hey, look at me, Mark. I'm here to save you, and look at me. Look how awesome I look on my steed." And I'm just okay. I'm sorry. I feel a little bad for Kieran.
Oh. Yeah, the end where Mark, I like how Cassie ended that, how Mark and Kieran were talking, and Mark says, if you ever really, really, really need me, I will be here, but just know that it's basically not going to happen. I want to be here for my family now. And that's what Mark does. He chooses to stay with his family and not go to the Wild Hunt. And throughout the book, that's kind of a nervous thing at the back of your head where you're just like, I want Mark to stay, but also you sort of shipped Kieran and Mark, but you don't know how that works. That's another thing tugging at your head while this mystery is going on.
Well, I mean, the whole thing with that, before the whole part where Kieran came and helped Mark and everyone out at the end, I mean, there was that whole whipping scene where Mark let information out to Christina about Gwen, about his weakness or something, and he had to pay for it, and then Julian tried to take the whippings, couldn't stand it. Then Emma took them.
Emma went and knocked him out and took the whippings for herself. And I was like...
But Kieran betrayed Mark, and he tattled on him, thinking that that Mark was going to get brought back to the hunt.
Yeah, and I think he also did it too out of jealousy because he saw Mark and Christina together. So
100%.
That was
definitely
in it, yeah. And so that part, I was just like, Kieran, I was just so mad at him at that point. So
I mean, I understand that's one of the things I really loved about this book. You could really relate to so many different characters. They're not just black and white. They all have good and bad aspects to them. Yeah, the big villains.
I love how distinct they are too.
Huh?
I love how distinct they are too. You can every character has a distinct personality. Like Drusilla with her, how Cassie describes the rooms. Drusilla has specific darker posters on the wall. They all have really distinct personalities. I'm forgetting them now, but when you read the book, it's really hard when you have a large cast of characters like that, and if there's too many, you're like, wait, who are we talking about? But Cassie made them all their own person, all really distinct, and so it was really nice and easy to tell them apart, and I love them all. It's such a cute family. I want to go live in their institute.
Well, one of the things that I really enjoyed about their whole family dynamic was seeing the way, because Tiberius sees things very differently. He sees the world very differently. And they all know ways to help him with getting through the day and understanding. He just sees everything differently. So I really loved the scenes between him and Livy. Wait, Livy's the twin, right? Livy, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Excuse me if I'm wrong. But there's so many
Yeah.
kids, and the names can get confused. But she wants to be parabatai with her brother, but the way he is, he just doesn't understand how she has that need for that. He doesn't feel the need for that. He's like, well, we already have each other's back anyway. So it's always fun to watch the way they interact, and especially, we'll get back to that, but I'm just a sneak peek. When he meets Kit, I have a big feeling about him and Kit in the future, like in their friendship.
I didn't even think of that. Now that you brought it up, like,
Yeah.
So in the book, was it Ty? Ty holds a knife up to Kit's throat, and he snuck in the car and went with Julian and Emma while they were on a mission, and he took Kit as hostage, basically, in order to get more information out of Johnny Rook. And so there's that whole thing, and there's this little line between them near the end. It's between Ty, and he's like, you tried to cut my throat or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was really funny. And so now that you brought that up, I'm just like waiting for that to happen. I feel like there is definitely going to be a bond there, and I wonder if that might become a parabatai friendship in the future, but we don't know yet.
And we might as well go ahead, and since she already mentioned the parabatai part, we find out at the end, after the whole showdown between Malcolm and Emma getting rid of Malcolm, we find out when Emma gets a call from Kit, and he is freaking out because his dad has been attacked, and he's like, he gets killed before Emma and them get there.
Bunch of Shax demons.
Yeah, the Shax demons come and take over, and when Emma shows up, oh my gosh, two of my favorite characters show up as well. Jim and Tessa show up.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Jim and Tessa show up, and
I don't know how I forgot about that.
We get the whole scene of Jim and Emma fighting side by side, and then Tessa goes up to Kit, and what was his name? Was it Steven Herondale? I think it was Steven.
Oh my god. I can't remember. Steven Jonathan Herondale. I know Jonathan was
she addresses him as a Herondale, and I
was like
so loud.
Yeah, me too.
I lost it. I lost it. There were like tears of joy running down my face, and it was a really wonderful moment, and especially when they brought him back to the Institute, and he met up with Ty again, and I think Ty's more likely to become parabatai with Kit than he would with his sister. I don't think his sister needs a parabatai. I really don't. I can see her standing on her own, very much like Izzy stands on her own. She doesn't need a parabatai. But I think Ty does. I think Ty does need a parabatai. And someone that can really bring out other sides of him, other sides of his personality that he doesn't really know how to connect to. It's going to be really interesting to see in the next book. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, can we talk about the part where after everything goes down and before the part with Kit and Jem and Tessa, how when Julian and Emma and everybody comes back to the Institute and all the lights are on that they had left off, and they go in and Clary is there, and Simon is just... And Jace comes down, and that they had come from Izzy and Simon's engagement party. And if you in some of the editions of Lady Midnight, I don't think it's in every edition, but at the end there is a extra little story that Cassandra wrote called A Long Conversation, and it basically, that little short story is about Clary and Jace and the whole wedding party celebration for Simon and Izzy that took place on Max's birthday, which really was so sweet. And
Izzy demanded a wedding announcement party thing. She demanded it all, and Simon goes to Clary, and he's freaking out, and then Clary's freaking out because she has to plan this party in the next couple of days.
And Jace is like, come on, you saved the world. I believe in you.
Yeah. I really want to see the scene where Simon is actually proposing.
Yeah.
I need that.
also, because Clary was like, Jace, congratulate Simon or I'm pouring all of your expensive shampoo down the drain.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I lost it. I lost it at that.
So great. They're just all so great. I love that just the team I cast, that family will never grow old. They are such a great cast of characters. Just so amazing. And yeah, we're here to talk about Lady Midnight though, so let's get back into that. I don't want to spoil it because I really want to say the thing that happens in that little short story, but if people didn't get it in their Lady Midnight, I don't want to spoil the big thing that Jace says, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So yeah, what else should we talk about in Lady Midnight? There's this scene at Cantor's Deli that's one of Cassie's favorite, and it's a few of my friends' favorite scenes. That's kind of where you're starting to trust Mark a little bit more, and I feel like we're just going back and forth, but that's really where the dynamic and everybody just feels kind of safe and together. And I don't know, there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. I don't think it's popping me back and forth. I don't think I was trying to see about our video how the live thing was going. I don't know if it's showing me. Is it me coming up on the screen when we're doing this? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people can hear me or not.
Oh, I hope so. I hope it's not just all on me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm. Oh gosh, I should have been. I'm not visible at all. There I am right now. Hi, people. I've been not showing up.
Has it been me the whole time?
Yeah, it's been you the whole time. Uh-oh. I think so. Oh no. Yeah, it's not because there's a way to make it jump back and forth between us, and it's not. Oops. Oh well.
We always have technical difficulties. We had to restart this live show like 5 times. I'm sorry, guys. This happens every time. We'll get it someday.
Yeah, I think it's showing me now. I don't know. I clicked on me, but I don't know.
That would be so awkward if it was just on me the whole time.
Is it jumping back and forth between us now? Like when you're talking and I'm talking?
No, mine doesn't do that. It's just on you right now, like if you were regularly video chatting. I don't know.
I don't know. That is so weird. I'm just like jumping back and forth between us now because I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I tried to help Jesy set this up, but I kind of had issues trying to help her because I couldn't really do it to set it up myself. So it was kind of setting up a live thing is actually, there's always technical difficulties. So.
Yeah, I think it's all on me. I'm watching it on my phone now.
Oh well, it's now you can see me. I guess we could do the last part of it with me showing. I don't know.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah, so y'all totally missed a lot of my fangirling because I was all over the place. Jesy could see me. Y'all couldn't see me. I was there. I was under a glamour
the whole time, so.
I was under a glamour. I was there. You just couldn't see me. I'm sorry. We have another live show planned tomorrow as well, and that will be for the first couple episodes of season 2 of Outlander.
Yay.
So hopefully that'll go all right. Anywho, I forgot. I don't know what we have not covered quite yet. We covered most things.
Yeah.
There was the ending, and basically Malcolm did not get what he wanted. And
should we talk about Diana?
Yeah, we can talk about her some. She's a cool character.
Yeah, because there was always that skepticalness about her betraying them, and that was kind of towards the end, but she proves herself. I was kind of skeptical at first, but at the end she explains herself and how she was actually helping and actually aiding and trying to solve the mystery as well.
Yeah. I think she's going to be an interesting character to find out more about, because she's definitely keeping a lot of secrets. She's keeping a lot of secrets, and it'll be very enlightening once we have figured out what she's hiding. She is hiding something. She's hiding something big, and
Oh yeah.
she's not telling us. She's not telling us. We do find out that she was working with Katarina Loss to find out the truth about Malcolm Fade and Annabelle and why he was behind all of this. So that is why she was able to come to the rescue, but she really didn't do any rescuing. She was just kind of like there and kind of swatted to the side. I mean, there were things that she did to help, but didn't really do she didn't really do what she needed to do, because she just didn't have the ability to help in the way she wanted. And she's going to be fun to find out more about.
Yeah, also major props and respect to Julian for, first off, the whole deaths happened, and that was just dealing with the grief and emotion of that, and then going to having to take on the role as the father figure of the family now, and taking on the role of both parents and having to take care of these 4 other siblings. That is a lot of work, and I just deeply admire and respect Julian for being so strong and being this role model to them all, and just being there. It's just, and Emma for being his rock.
Yeah, let's not forget the whole scene where they slept together.
Oh my god, how did that not come up yet?
I don't know how we did not bring that up. I mean,
wow.
That just, like, I cannot even.
Creepy footsteps there when they woke up. Like, geez, Malcolm. That was.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But then when that's where the like that scene is like absolutely stunning and beautiful and perfect, and we're like, everybody who's reading it is probably like all gushy-eyed and so happy. And then when they wake up, Julian's like, no, we need to stop this right now, and that hurt. But
yeah.
I like when that happens in stories, because typically, to me, it may just be just me when reading stories, if there was this whole story like building up to this relationship, and then everything's like happy and like nothing goes wrong, I like to have that back and forth. Not like a toxic relationship, but relationships aren't perfect, so I like how when things aren't perfect, and that there is a bumpy road, and that you have to work together to figure things out. But technically, in Lady Midnight, they're not in a said relationship yet. Nothing has been figured out. And so, since the whole forbidden thing, that's basically the whole only thing holding Emma and Julian back from being with each other, is the fact that they are parabatai. And that really sucks. And I just, like, the whole time when reading, I'm like, why could you have not done this, please? And it was just so hard.
Yeah. I still don't think it's showing me, but I think actually you're supposed to click on me to show me when I'm talking, like click on the little square to show me.
I've been clicking on you a lot. I don't know.
Something's.
Oh, it's switching now.
Oh, goodness. Now it's switching back between us talking?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Did you click something, or was it me? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to jump back and forth between us as we're talking.
Now, it's jumping right now.
Oh, goodness. Let's start over. No, okay.
Start again.
No. Hey, guys, we're starting this over just now.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I really enjoyed this book, and I think there's going to be a lot of really cool things to happen in the future books. I am very excited to find out more about Mark and the Wild Hunt. I'm so just like, I'm like, when I get like thrown a bit, like a piece of something, and then I know I have to wait like a year or so for more. Oh, I'm chomping at the bit to find out more about Mark and his entire experience in Fairy. Like when I kind of asked Cassie about that in my interview, and she was kind of hush-hush about it, but I think that there's going to be more. There's going to be more.
I also, I like from the beginning, I kind of shipped a lot more than Kieran and Mark. I did ship Christina and Mark, and now at the end, it ends with her kissing Diego, and I'm just sort of, I mean, I'm kind of bummed about that, but I hope that in the future we get to see a little bit more of them together. I don't know what's going to happen. All these relationships are so jumbled up right now. Like, 'cause you know, if you've read The Mortal Instruments, you know how that love octagon-ish thing happens. So
yeah. You can basically, in these books and in the show as well, you could ship like everyone.
Yeah.
There's just the only people you're not allowed to ship, well, I have no forgiveness about this, is Alec and Magnus with anyone besides each other.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I love one thing.
I remember first reading the series. I just totally shipped Clary and Simon at first. It was just me, but
yeah. One thing, I'm trying to find a picture of it because I completely fangirled so hard in the scene where they had a lot of the Mortal Instruments characters in this. Now, we do know about Alec and Magnus from, I mean, some people read this book and did not read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, so they did not find out about Max, the kid they adopted, but yeah, spoiler. But we already warned about that earlier in this video. But we get to see a cute scene because they also adopted a young Shadowhunter. Now, see, look, there's little Max. And then, and take note of the name of this character. They named him Raphael. It's not spelled the same way, I don't think.
Raphael Santiago Lightwood.
The feels were real when they announced this character. Like, I got this book. I think I got Tales from A History of Notable Shadowhunters and Denizens of Downworld, told in Language of Flowers. I think I got that before I actually read Lady Midnight. So I turn to the page and I see Raphael Santiago Lightwood Bane. And I was like, what? What is this? What is going on? I am so confused, but I love it. I love it. It's so good. It's so good. And we got to see the whole scene with, like, when after Jim and Tessa brought Kit, Steven, to the Institute and all of that, and then they left through the, didn't they leave through the portal?
I think so.
Yeah, they left through the portal, and Magnus was on the other side of the portal, and I think he was holding Max, but there was also, like, Alec and Raphael in the background, and so cute. I want to see the scene when they walk through the portal between Tessa and Magnus and Jim and all of them, and Alec. I want to see that scene. I want to see that scene. I want to read about that scene. I need it. It was good. So good.
I just want to see more of all of them together in general in the future. So please, Cassie, bring us more Lightwood Bane family together, and Tessa and Jem, because my heart. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Well, I mean, I know it has nothing to do with the books, really, but like in the show when they had the whole Malik moment, the wedding interruption and all that, we did get to see. I closed up on this shot and I screenshotted it. It was of Magnus, Alec, Simon, and Izzy all talking, and I was like, future brothers and sisters and stuff, and just, yes, it was good. It was good, and I I love that they included, I know some people didn't like that that Cassie included the Mortal Instruments characters in Lady Midnight. I know there are those that do not like that they were included. I do, because it really solidly connects all of the books, all of the stories. Yeah. Because like with Jim, it connects all the time frames, all the time periods, and it's a really good part to have. And Cassie doesn't overdo it. I really don't think she overdoes it. I mean, that scene was really quick with Clary and them showing up. They left fairly quickly, and I think it was very well done.
Yeah, I just everything Cassie writes, how everything is so interwoven together is incredible and amazing, and I love how she connects the stories. It's just, it wouldn't be the same, and it's just so amazing. And like when you try to describe any of Cassandra's books to anyone and you just like, wait, that comes in, and you just have to read it. It's so amazing. It's just, yeah.
And yeah, I'm loving this new aspect, this new part of the Shadowhunter series.
Oh yeah.
And I know a lot of people actually, Lady Midnight is their new favorite in the entire series. It's now one of my top favorites. It's one of my top 5 favorites, I think, in the books. Yeah. Now, like,
I don't think anything will ever be Clockwork Princess, but that's okay.
Clockwork Princess is the best. Yeah. Clockwork Princess is the best, hands down, in my opinion. The Infernal Devices in general, I mean, yeah. I mean, I gotta quote "Words of the Power to Change Us" on my arm from the Infernal Devices, because there's just something about the Infernal Devices. I've always felt kind of out of time, and I've always liked that time period, and something about the Infernal Devices always drew me in, wanting more. And we got 3 books. I mean, the Mortal Instruments was supposed to be 3 books, like the Infernal Devices was, but it got expanded, and there's a lot of arguments about how it got expanded. It didn't have to be expanded, but I mean, it would have been good even without the expansion. But
Cassie did it well.
Yeah, she did it well. She did it very well. And
because sometimes if the series gets expanded, then it just feels drug on, and just like, I know series that I've read where I read the first books and the rest of them, since it was meant to be a standalone, I'm like, what the heck is this? It's just, Cassie did it very well. She's an incredible writer in general, so.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Sookie Stackhouse series. The Sookie Stackhouse series, it had the True Blood show, and they had Charlene Harris continue writing more books, and the show went a completely different direction from the books. The ending of the show broke my heart. The ending of the books broke my heart, and I felt like I'd wasted, I was very disappointed in the way the books and the show turned out. So I like that there is definitely, they make sure, and there's a very closeness to the books in the Shadowhunter show. They're not completely going off from the storyline, but they are taking certain liberties that some of them I don't understand. I don't understand all of them, but several of them I do understand, because some people don't read the books and they don't understand the shadow world. And yeah, and I'm so excited to hopefully, I'm sure Cassie's talking to the directors about it, but like when I was interviewing her about it, I asked about if she wanted to see anybody from the books, from the Lady Midnight book in Shadowhunters, and she said she would love to see a young Emma and Julian, and yeah. I think that would be a wonderful addition to the show, even just in one episode, Emma and Julian, just.
Yeah. I just want to see Emma and Julian brought to life so bad. Like, oh my god.
And Mark.
Yes.
And Mark.
Lady Midnight, please.
I'm scared for Jim and Tessa, to see Jim and Tessa. I do not want my heart broken. Like, I don't want my heart broken. That's a very shaky, that's a very Oh yeah, that's
ground.
rocky ground. That's rocky road. I don't know. I think a lot of people are nervous about if they decide to bring Infernal Devices characters into Shadowhunters and how. I mean, they do have Magnus. Magnus is in Infernal Devices.
I think Cassie actually said that she'd never sell the rights to the Infernal Devices because it's so beloved. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they would be allowed to bring the characters in, but
I mean, Magnus is in the Infernal Devices.
Yeah,
but Magnus is in everything.
Yeah,
Magnus is in everything.
Magnus is amazing.
Magnus.
Nobody can not have a Magnus.
Magnus is like the force in the Shadowhunter world. It surrounds us. It binds us.
Magnus is like probably my favorite character of all time. So
same here. Yeah.
She couldn't have created. Cassie in general just couldn't have created better characters. Just wow.
Magnus is wonderful. Magnus is so wonderful, and I cannot wait to see more character development from him on the show and in the book series, because I know we're going to get a lot more of Magnus. I flipped out when Magnus showed up in Lady Midnight, and we got him for a decent amount of time. We did.
I feel like we're going off track, but yeah, I'm just so excited for what's in store for Lady Midnight since the first book was so incredible, and yeah, I'm just so excited.
I love Lady Midnight. I don't know if we covered every single thing. It's a huge book. How many pages?
It's a huge book. It's like 670 pages.
It's crazy. Like, oh, we forgot to mention something.
What?
I turned the page and I see the whole scene, the extra scene in Lady Midnight, and about the engagement party thing, and Jace proposing.
That's what, no, don't say it. I know, that's what I said that, but I said I didn't want to spoil it if people didn't read it.
Oh, we already, people.
But it's okay, yeah, Jace proposes to Clary. Yeah, and when I brought up that scene before, I'm like, there's something I want to say, but I don't want to say it in case people haven't read it. But yeah, Jace does propose to Clary in a very Jace-like way, because we all know how Jace is.
Yeah, and I don't think she's going to say yes. I think the reason I don't think she's going to say yes is because she's going to say something to him like, you decided this because Simon proposed to Izzy and you feel like you need to propose to me. So propose to me when you're really ready. Like, yeah. I just don't, he felt like he was trying to be like, oh, well, maybe I should propose to Clary. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, even if I'm not ready.
Yeah, it was just wrong timing. And if a guy takes you into a closet of your sister's engagement party and proposes to you, what would you say?
No, not yet.
Yeah. So Jace needs to get his crap together, and I hope that Cassie writes more about Jace and Clary and the mortal instruments in the future, because that just can't be left like that. There needs to be more.
Yeah, there definitely does. I'm sure there will be more. I really want more short stories. I think they are going to bring us more short stories, because I think all of the little novellas have done extremely well. I've always read them every month that they've come out. I'm going to be buying Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy.
When it comes out, I need it right now.
I mean, I've already read it. I've already read it in all the different parts. But once I have that book, I'm going to be like, bringing it everywhere with me. Everywhere. That book is going to come everywhere with me. And people are like, Victoria, why are you carrying that book around with me? I'm going to be like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, do you not know my love of Simon Lewis? Do you not? And how long have you known me? Yeah, Lady Midnight was really great. And the whole Herondale aspect that was thrown in there, I really enjoyed that.
I wonder.
I was not expecting it.
I was not expecting it. Must be for Tessa. It's like a bittersweet thing, because you're seeing one of your husband's. It's like your great grandchild. That's so weird.
Well, actually, I don't think Stephen is related to her, because it's one of Will's ancestors that was older than him that was disgraced. And so it was one that was off to the side, and it was before him and Tessa. So Stephen, I'm going to be so mad at myself if I'm wrong, and that wasn't his name. I believe his name was Stephen. Anywho, Stephen is a descendant of, what was his name? There's so many characters.
I know. It's just so intricate. I showed my dad the map outline of the family tree from the Clockwork Princess exclusive edition, and he's like, no, still not going to read it. Too complicated.
Yeah, complicated. But, I mean, so there is, I mean, but it doesn't matter. Even though Tessa's not related to this character, she sees a relative of Will's. And it's got to be hard. I can't even imagine. Hey, Lily, you want to come say hi? She's like, hi.
Just bringing up Will is breaking my heart.
What? Will? Yeah.
Bringing up Will is just, it hurts.
Yeah. Will, I love Will, and I love anytime he's mentioned. But one thing that I did not fully, I guess I didn't completely remember it in the final Mortal Instruments book, but I did not quite remember about Jim not being a shadow hunter at all anymore. For some reason, it just completely slipped my mind. I know I knew it. It's like, it's one of those facts, you know it, but it kind of just goes over your head. You know it, but you don't know it at the same time. You kind of just forget about it. And you just kind of always see them as a shadow hunter. But yeah, so Jim, they tell us again that he is not a shadow hunter anymore. And I'm really sad because I was hoping in some way that Tessa would find a way to immortalize Jim so they could stay together. But there's something, there's some kind of snippet or something somewhere where Jim dies and he meets Will again or something, or there's an artwork about it or something by Cassandra Jean or something. And so it basically says that Jim is going to die one day. And I just feel bad for Tessa because she's going to be left all alone. And why do you
Will, I can imagine would be amazing yet so hard. Their lives. Just watching so many people die around you, I just can't.
Magnus and Tessa are going to be old. They're going to be young, old spinsters together one day. They're going to be like living in a house, and they're going to be all sad and be like, yeah, they're going to be sad. Like they have lived together before. But it was really great that they threw in and I actually like that Jim wasn't in the whole book. He was back and forth in the book. The biggest presence of Jim in the book was church. We totally forgot to talk about church.
Oh yeah, church.
The connection between Church was sent over by Jim to look after Emma, and Emma kind of cares for Church, and Church goes back and forth whenever he wants. And it's like having Jim. It's like having Jim. Jim will like tie things to Church's collar and send Church with little things.
Church
for Emma.
Cookie. I love Church so bad. I'm not really a cat person. Don't hate me, but I love Church. I want Church.
Everybody wants Church.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Everybody does. And I think it's going to be fun to see more of Church. And if he decides to stay with Emma throughout the new series, it's going to be really interesting to see that. It's going to be fun. And just, oh my gosh. It's hard to even talk about Lady Midnight without fangirling because it was just great. Everything. It was everything.
I think we covered most of like the main points. I know there's so much more that could be talked about, but I think we can wrap it up now. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we've got about everything. And sorry guys, even if I'm not showing still, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's how it's doing. We'll go back and look at it. But my voice is present. I know my voice is present. I think. If not, that's just gonna sound like Jessy's talking to herself, but that's okay. We all do it. We all do it sometimes. But yeah, this was really fun. And we will have another live show on Jessy's, no, not Jessy's, my channel tomorrow. Yeah. But we have a book talk as well coming on Jessy's channel. another one for Blood and Fire by Ashley Mansour. And at the end of this month, yeah, we have another one this month. That's this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to start rereading that book, so my mind will be refreshed for the live show, so I should get to that soon.
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining in on Our Lady Midnight Book Talk.
Thanks, guys.
Subscribe to Victoria below. Her channel will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Bye!